Good evening, everyone. I hope my voice is audible to all of you and I'm clearly visible as well. May I get a quick confirmation over the chat box? Can you guys hear me? Am I visible? Yes, awesome. So I welcome you all to the FR orientation for September 2024 attempt. And first of all, congratulations that you guys have chosen for this paper and you guys have started early because there are many students, who would start in July, maybe after the results. But I'm glad that all the students who are sitting here or would watch this video later on, they are actually conscious about their preparation and they've started looking for resources and they've started their preparations already. So today in this orientation, I'm going to talk about the subject FR, financial reporting, what exactly is there in this exam, what are we going to study, and if you're enrolled with me, how I'm going to help you. And even if you're not enrolled with me, what kind of planner you should follow, like what should be your strategy or your, you can say, minute plan ahead, that by which date I should be done with what topic. So that is what I'm going to consider today in this particular orientation session. So before I begin, I just want to know how many of you are giving FR as their first exam in ACCA. So any such student sitting here who's never given any paper of ACCA and is sitting for FR for the first time? Because many people do begin with their ACCA journey with FR. First exam. Okay, two people, three. Good. So if you're giving this, yeah, so many students, I would say, who are here from the first level of ACCA. So let me give you an introduction to the exam. I would say the pattern also, the way ACCA structures its questions. So how it is different and how you should be, taking it. Is it challenging? Is it easy? Should I be worried about it? So all those things I'm going to discuss today. And then at the end, I will also take your doubts. So to begin with, guys, for the students who are sitting for this paper for the first time, you guys have done accounts paper in class 11. If you're from India or maybe in Asia also, you know those basic debits, credits, that chapter of final accounts that we must have done in our basic commerce classes, where we used to pass journals, prepare the trial balance, then the P&L and the balance sheet. You all have done that. I'm supposing no one is here from a science background. Yes, we've done that. Basic final accounts. Awesome. So that is what FR actually is. It's a little advanced version of rough accounts that we do. Okay, so we used to prepare our P&L in, I would say I'm in India. So we in our class 11th used to have this chapter of final accounts. And in that, we used to just, prepare the P&L and the balance sheet in a rough manner. Like there was no rule that I have to put these expenses in this heading, or I have to, make a format, or there is a proper disclosure note requirement. So no such thing was there. And I was roughly preparing a balance sheet out of what the information was given to me in the question. But what is different in financial reporting is that for every asset that you record, for every liability that you record, for every income that you record, and for every expense that you record, they properly bifurcate and they have rules attached to it that how are you supposed to record all these elements of financial statements. So if I talk about assets, there are two assets, current assets and non-current assets. So I have variety of standards on non-current assets, like how to record them, what are the rules. So in financial reporting, it's basically about rules. It's about what are the policies or procedures or standards regarding how to record such kind of assets. Now, you might be wondering what are rules, what standards ma'am is talking about. In class 11, it was very simple. We used to prepare our accounts, applying the basic rules of accounting, debit, credit, all those three golden rules, debit what comes in, credit what goes out, right? So all those three rules that we used to have. But what is extra in FR? It's it's about financial reporting. The paper FR is financial reporting. So when I say financial, I mean numbers, I mean performance, I mean position, I mean asset, liability, income, expense. And when I talk about reporting, reporting is communicating. I told you guys I'll report to you at 8 p.m. Correct? So I'm communicating to you at 8 p.m. I'm having this live session with you at 8 p.m. So in financial reporting, you tell a group of stakeholders, the people, like for example, your shareholders, any company, listed company would have shareholders. You guys must have been investing in companies, so you are the shareholders. Or there are potential shareholders. Some people are already shareholders, others are thinking to become a shareholder. So existing shareholder, potential shareholder, government who has to give you subsidies as a business, then taxation authorities, the employees of a business. All these are known as stakeholders of any business. So I, as an accountant, after doing ACCA, we become accountants. So I, as an accountant, am supposed to report the numbers of the business to the stakeholders. And this whole reporting, this communication should have a language attached to it. We all agree on that? Today I'm meeting you in this live session. I'm having a language, right? I'm not speaking in my local language. I'm speaking in international language so that people who are here from international background can also understand me, right? So if I start using the local language, you won't understand what I'm saying. So similarly, an accountant who's working in an MNC, which is a globalized company, which is having stakeholders around the world, that company also needs to communicate internationally, right? They need to use a mode of language which everyone understands. Which language I'm talking about? I'm talking about accounting language. I'm not talking about Hindi, English, Tamil. No. I'm talking about accounting language. So what is India's accounting language? Indian accounting standards. UAE has their own accounting standards. USA has their own accounting standards. Even UK has UK gap. Then what are we studying in ACCA? We are studying International Financial Reporting Standards, which is known as IFRS. That is the heart and soul of the qualification that you are pursuing. So those who are giving their first exam in ACCA, why we call ACCA as a professional course which has global reach, or why do we call it as a passport? Because we are learning the international accounting language. An Indian CA won't know that. And US CPA won't know that. It's you in ACCA who would know this international accounting standard, and that's your professional skill. So, when you become an ACCA, what people would ask you, they would ask you two things. One, about accounts. Can you prepare our accounts? And second, they would ask you about taxation. Now, taxation is country specific. There is no international taxation, right? But there is international accounting. So in this paper, we will be introduced to IFRSs. So at a basic level, we'll be introduced in FR. Then a little higher level, we will be introduced in SBR. So FR is directly linked with SBR. Okay. So I primarily teach SBR. FR is like a byproduct of SBR. So you would be using this whole knowledge as it is in SBR. So if you're studying with me in FR, you would be there in SBR also. You would realize that there is like 75% similarity. Some of the students in SBR, they also refer to your videos that I've uploaded on the portal, FR videos, because they are so related. It's all about IFRSs. So in FR, I'm going to talk about basics of IFRS. For example, non-current assets. I'll talk about how to record property, plant, and equipment. I'll talk about how to record my intangible assets. I'll talk about how do I record my government grants. I'll talk about how do I treat any asset when I plan on to sell that asset held for sale. So I'll talk about impairment, that what if there is something happening absurd to the business, like for example, COVID happened. So how COVID actually led to impairment of many assets. So we are going to talk about accounting treatment of non-current assets. We are going to talk about accounting treatment of revenue. How do you record revenue in your business? Revenue means what I sell. I might not sell it like a casual thing. I might sell it in a complex contract with my customer. For example, construction contract. You go and buy chocolate today, that's a different story. You get a chocolate, you eat it, you're done. So when the shopkeeper gave you the chocolate, he must have recorded his revenue. and he would have billed you. He would not have said you, okay, you can pay me this after 1 month. But think about a construction contract. If I want to get an apartment built for myself, it will take 6 months, 7 months, or maybe an year. So in that case, I will pay like in bits and pieces. I'll pay after 1 month, I'll pay after another 15 days. So that is a complex contract in itself. How to deal with the revenue from those complex contracts we are taught in IFRS 15. Revenue. Leases, when you take things on rent or you give things on rent, how do you account for it? As per IFRS, as per our international accounting language, we get to know about this in IFRS 16. We pay some tax, current tax. Then there is a concept of deferred tax also. How do we record that? Even that is a part of our syllabus IS 12. So basically, this is whole situation of financial reporting, which we are going to do in our course. And that exactly is what is going to be taught to you. So let me just share my screen. Please confirm to me once it's visible to you so that we can discuss ahead that what exactly is there in FR. Okay. So I hope my screen is visible to all. I'll be sharing this document with you after the session. So it will be shared on the WhatsApp groups that you're part of. And when the recording will be uploaded, the planner would be put in the description box of the YouTube. And if you want to get added into a free WhatsApp group, please text on this number so that my team can add you into the free global groups. Okay, so let's get started, guys. What exactly do we have in financial reporting? First thing we have is IFRS. That means we are going to learn international accounting language. Correct? That's what I'm going to learn, international accounting language. Second is I'm going to find numericals. Like I'm going to find the financial statements to be prepared, either single entity financial statements, or I might have to even prepare the group financial statement, like group accounts. Third,
Even entering.
please mute yourselves. Okay. Third is interpretation. We might be asked a question on interpretation. What is interpretation? If any company has prepared their financial statements, they are also, as an accountant, supposed to communicate or supposed to analyze that how this company is doing. So if you have invested in stock exchange ever and you've attended basic classes of how to invest in stock exchange, so you would know there is something which is known as market analysis and something which is known as the company analysis, when you check the fundamentals of a company. So when you do the fundamental check of the company, what you do is you interpret their results. You look at their ratios, you look at their return on capital employed, you look at their profit margin, net profit margin. Even if you've watched Shark Tank, that's what the sharks do, right? They would check the company's KPIs. They would ask their what is their EBITDA. They would ask what is their gross profit margin or net profit margin. So that exactly is interpretation. You're trying to interpret how good this company is performing. What is their position in the market? Do you think they have enough funds with them? So that's what there is there in our interpretation part. So these are like the things that we learn in FR. And if I talk about its format, guys, the format, since you're giving it for the first time, you might not be aware of it. So the format is quite simple. We have section A. So in our section A, there would be 30 MCQs and each MCQ is worth 2 marks. So my first section is going to be for like, so this is 30 MCQs. Here we will have like 15 MCQs and that would be of 30 marks. And then in section B, we are going to again have MCQs of 30 marks. Now, what is the difference between section A and section B then? Because both have MCQs. In section A, the MCQs are going to be independent. That means the first MCQ is independent from the second MCQ. So the information given in first MCQ is not used in the second MCQ. Whereas in section B, you will get case studies. So one case study in section B will have 5 subparts. Okay. So one case study will have 5 subparts. Each subpart is going to be, each subpart is 2 marks, right? Each subpart is 2 marks. So that means how one case study has worth of 10 marks. Yes, one case study will be worth of 10 marks. So one piece of information, 5 MCQs regarding those piece of information, each MCQ worth 2 marks. So 5 into 2 comes out to be 10. So one case study will be worth 10 marks, and in total you will have 3 such case studies. Therefore, section B is of 30 marks. So the difference in section A and section B is that section A is independent, like it's a small MCQ. In section B, it would be a case study. And one piece of information will supply information to 5 MCQs. Then section C, very important section of the paper, is going to be where you have to type things out. So first of all, it would be the question number 1 of 20 marks. Okay. So that would be 20 marker question. Usually it comes from a single entity. Like you have to prepare financial statements of individual company, either P&L or balance sheet, or you have to prepare for group accounts. So you will either get single entity or you will get group accounts. Right now, you don't know what is group accounts. When you prepare accounts or financial statements for a group, for example, Meta. Meta is a group, right? Facebook, Insta, WhatsApp are all part of Meta. So if you prepare financial statements of Meta, you would include the results of all these 3 companies. Whereas if I talk about individual financial statements, I'll just talk about one company. So in section C, I would get either the financial statements of one company or I will get the financial statements of a whole group. Then second question of section C would be again for 20 marks, which would be always from interpretation. This is a theoretical question where subpart would be calculation of ratios, but the major portion of marks will be for interpretation, where they would ask you, what do you think about this company? You need to tell that, okay, this company is doing good. What could be the reason that the profits have increased? Why in this year the profits have declined? So all these things are there in question number 2 of section C, correct? So this is what we have in our section A, section B, and section C. Now, because you might not have ever seen a paper of ACCA, so what I'll do is I'll actually show you one such past paper where you'll actually understand that what kind of, the past paper. So you'll just go to ACCA website. Let me show you one of the past papers of financial reporting so that you get a precise idea of the format. Just give me a second. We need to log into the practice platform for that. Okay. So I hope my screen is visible to you. Let's go to financial reporting, past paper. Okay. See, this is how the past paper looks like. Can you see section A? Question number 1, which of the following is not the duty of IFRS interpretation committee? So that this is an independent question. Like we don't have a case study and it's a normal MCQ. I have to choose the correct option. Very simple objective type question. No negative marking here. Then go to section B. So we have 15 questions in section A. Then comes the section B. See here, section B. So let's see what's there in section B. We get objective type questions here as well. But can you see you have a case study here? And related to this case study, there will be 5 subparts. First subpart is here. Second subpart, case study is same. I have second subpart. Then again, I will move to the next case study. The case study is same, third subpart. That is how section B looks like. So you will have 3 such cases in section B. So see how many questions you will have in section B. Again, 3 case studies. Each subpart, each case study has 5 subparts. So in total, 15 questions are there. Then section C, again, the subjective questions. Can you see here? They're asking you prepare the statement of financial position of Tairaj as at 31st March. So they're asking you to prepare the balance sheet. Then they're also asking you to calculate a ratio. So that is basically a single entity question. Then let's see what's the question number 2. Let's see what's the question number 2. This is for 20 marks, right? Last question. See, this is interpretation. What are they asking? What is interpretation? Reply to 4 observations of the CEO. What are the 4 observations of the CEO in the case study? Can you see this observation? So CEO has made some observations and they're saying reply to them. And then they're saying using the financial statements, calculate the ratios. They've given you the ratios ROCE, net asset turnover, gross profit margin, operating profit margin. Do you guys remember from your commerce background studies in class 12th, we used to have this chapter of ratios. We also used to make a project on it. Like in my time, I made a project on it. But I'm not sure if you guys have done this. In university also, they most of the times ask us to prepare an assignment on these ratios. So do you remember that? The ratios part? Yeah. So I hope you guys have also done it. I'm not the only one. Exactly. So these are the same ratios, those gross profit margin, net profit margin. We will learn the formula. We will understand why they're calculated and how they're calculated. And then we will also get a skill of understanding that, okay, how to apply or how to interpret. Once I've calculated the trend, how to interpret that, whether the trend is increasing, what is the reason behind it, whether it's good or bad, how to interpret all those things we will learn with time. But this is how the paper looks like. And very honestly, guys, since I'm teaching the professional level papers also, I would say this is a very much manageable paper, easy paper. The only difficulty why 50% of the people fail in this paper is they don't practice. By looking at the paper, do you realize 60% of your success is dependent on MCQs? So many people have this mindset that, ma'am, if I will just prepare for group accounts, if I will just prepare for interpretation and single entity, I'm good to go. Because section C is made up of these things only. But do you realize that 60% of your success is MCQs? And that's where people make silly mistakes, literally silly mistakes. Like the requirement says, what should not be the option? And they would select what should be the option. So they don't read the things correct. They are asking you, what is the charge that should go into the statement of profit and loss for the year ended 31st March 2024? But you end up telling them charge for maybe 2 years. Because in the question, they tricked you in something, they gave you depreciation of 2 years. So you think, oh, they are asking the charge, so they are asking total depreciation. But they were just asking for this year, current year's depreciation. So these small, little, you can say, what do we call that in English? It's like small little tricks which are involved in every, literally every MCQ is what you have to understand and decode. And that decoding can only and only happen if you have enough practice of the MCQs. So on the very first day before I start with my sessions, I'm making it very clear to you, MCQs is what will save you, or MCQs are something which will lead to a failure. Because by the end, we all learn about section C. There are so many videos of mine only on the portal explaining about section C. So many questions we have done in the class itself for section C. Everyone manages section C somehow, because we think it's a subjective thing and we need to be focused. It's on Excel, we have to do it on spreadsheet, so we practice it a little. But it's the section A and B which we take for granted. MCQs only, na, I will manage it. I'll do the guesswork. That is where people flunk. So if you want to avoid that, I'm telling you the first day only, try to keep sources wide for MCQs. Try as many questions of MCQs as possible, whether you do it via, some sites, whether I would recommend you buy Kaplan kit. In Kaplan kit, do the MCQs. If you're not getting it sufficiently, then you can practice MCQs from two kits, Kaplan and BPP both. Plus, there is no productivity in doing MCQs if you do not keep a highlighter with you while practicing. Imagine I did an MCQ wrong. I did it wrong because my concept was wrong, right? So I think about something in a certain way. That's why I thought that the right option is C. But actually, the right option was A. Now I need to amend my concept. I need to amend my thinking. If I will not re-look or revise my mistakes, how will I amend my concept? The conceptual mistake happened because your concept was wrong. So you need to revisit it again and again so that you remember that, okay, I am making this mistake. Yes, I'm supposed to amend myself in this regard. So for that, I need to revisit that mistake. For that, I need to highlight the MCQ where I made the mistake. So there's no point of solving the whole kit if you're not highlighting, if you're not coming back to your mistakes, if you're not revising your mistakes, if you're not learning from your mistakes. If you've given a paper, a mock exam, if you're given a quiz, if you're not actually re-looking at it, then there's no benefit of actually, doing that practice or that mock exam. So this is what I would suggest. And you now know the syllabus, you now know the questions which would be asked. Okay, so format is clear. What are the resources to be followed? So if you guys are enrolling in my course, I follow Kaplan text plus Kaplan kit, exam kit. Okay, these are the things that I follow in my sessions. So I'll provide you, or you can also buy hard copies of it, Kaplan text and kit. And secondly, what we have is notes that are given to you. Okay, so these are the resources that you have to follow in terms of what you need to read. Otherwise, what is your step number one? Step number one is watch lecture. Okay, refer to the lecture, make your own handwritten notes, short notes. You will get the lecture notes, but instead of that, you can also make small handwritten flow chart. I'm not saying that you copy the whole lecture thing in a note copy. No, you are supposed to just make a flow chart. For example, today I told you few points. You can just jot them down somewhere. I really love that way of studying. I'm not sure about you guys. I know it's a harder work to do so, but it's also productive. Because if you don't write, then you're just listening to something with half-heartedness. And I don't like that way of studying, and I don't want you guys to follow that. So I'll, request you that if possible, whenever you're attending my sessions or whenever you're attending any recordings of mine, please make some small short notes. That would really, really help you in revising, because IFRSs are rules, and rules are something that we need to retain, learn, memorize. So for that, you need to revise them as many times as possible. So lecture, then your own short notes, and then yes, the text, Kaplan text follow. Don't read the Kaplan text. After doing the lecture, no need to read the Kaplan text. All you have to do is TYUs from the Kaplan text. Now, these are the TYUs which are there in your text, that is by the name of test yourself, test your understanding. So in each chapter, during the chapter concepts, there are small boxes which have MCQs, which have questions, which we call as test your understanding questions. Some of them are there in the lectures also, but in some chapters, I tell you that I've not done these. You have to do them as self-practice so that I've taught you the concept. You can test your concept via that question. So I would suggest you TYUs a lot. So it's the lecture, it's the short notes, it's the text TYUs, and lastly, it is the exam kit of Kaplan. This is what we will follow. I will give you recordings of my Kaplan solving, where I'm solving the questions from Kaplan. I'll give you my recordings of explaining PYUs also. I'll give you my recordings of explaining concepts also. You have to just watch those recordings and follow what is told to you in the lecture. That's it. So this is the resource that you have to follow. And what would be our plan? Okay. This is the plan till month of July. I'll give you a comprehensive plan, day-wise plan in the month of August, when you will actually start with super 20 questions, and you'll start with I even give you super 50 questions, the MCQs. So I'll give you a proper planner day-wise in the month of August. So what exactly I have? In the first, I have non-current assets, which includes IS 16, IFRS 13. It includes IS 20, IFRS 5. It includes your, IS 36, IS 38. All these standards are to be done by 25th of June. So let me show you on the portal how it would actually look like. Just give me a minute. So let me take you to the portal. Yeah. Okay. I hope you can see the portal in front of you. So what you have to do for the next 1 week, you have to do the introduction section. 6 lessons are here. See, class notes are attached here. You have to do conceptual framework. Again, this is a small area. For this, the class notes are not here. That means whenever the class notes are not there, that means you are supposed to take notes from the lecture. Because this is something which I wrote on the board, and I asked you to prepare notes along with the lecture only. And honestly, it's like you have to just note down few keywords in this chapter. It's a theory based chapter where you just should know financial statements and their qualities. Okay, so that is what you will do along with me in the chapter. Then IFRS 13 we have here. Introduction, active market, IS 16 we have here. Yes, IFRS 13 and IS 16 notes are over here only. Then IS 40 investment property is there. This is also your non-current asset. Then you have government grants. That is also your non-current asset. Intangible asset. That is also your non-current asset. Then other non-current asset. So these are the standards that you are supposed to prepare in the coming 1 week. That's your agenda. IFRS 13, conceptual framework, 16, 40, 20, 36. Then other standards also. 38. Small standards are covered here like IFRS 5. So from 1st till 8th, we are covering in the first week. Now you might think, ma'am, that's too much. That's not too much. You see the length of this. This is not too much. I've just made small videos so that you don't get confused. So these are small videos. These are not like long 1 hour, 2 hour lectures that you won't be able to follow. These are small videos. So in 1 week, you can easily cover them. So just get done with non-current asset section, which is very important section of your syllabus by 25th of June. And then 26th of June, we will meet live in the class. It is a problem session. We can even practice. See, first you guys will ask your doubts, whatever doubts you would have, and then we will do the practice of it. So this is going to be at 8 p.m. Indian time, live in the session. Like today we met live. Similarly, on 26th June, we'll again meet live on NCA. Then revenue, IFRS 16 and financial instruments, you'll cover till 3rd July. You'll cover the rest of it by 8th July. Now we will have a combined problem session. These are all single entity concepts. So on 9th of July, I will do a section C question from single entity concepts with you. Okay. Then you have your group accounts. By 17th of July, you will cover group accounts. Then on 18th of July, we will have a live session on group accounts. Yes, if you miss these live sessions, you'll always get a recording of them after a few hours of the class. But I highly recommend that you watch them live so that, we're just meeting 4 times in the live session. So I don't recommend you missing out them to attend them live. It keeps you on pace and on track with the batch. Then interpretation, IS 33 and other small standards are supposed to be done by 27th of July. And we were going to meet for this part of our syllabus on 29th of July. This is just the live classes which are placed in the till the month of July. In August, we will have few more live sessions for practice. You'll get many recordings of practice on the portal, but we will also, the recordings will be there, but we will also meet live For example, we have marathon, we have grand revision, we have mock debrief. So all these things are going to happen. So that is the August thing that will take place. There will be Super 20 questions. There won't be live sessions on Super 20 questions, but that would be given to you in a recorded format. But still, we will meet live for marathon, grand revisions, mock debriefs. So all that is going to happen in the month of August after you cover your syllabus. And here, when you're covering the syllabus side by side, you're doing the kit also. When I say that I have covered NCA, check the portal. In other NCA section, if you move to other NCA section, I've placed the practice sessions here as well. So in these two classes, which are like 2 hours each, we've done practice only. So that means we are doing the kit side by side and we are covering the concepts also. So this is how you're supposed to prepare for your financial reporting going forward. This is the plan that I suggest you and the timeline. Even if you're self-studying, this is what you should follow. And if you're planning to enroll with me at TG Professionals, you can just visit our website and avail 10% discount. And you can be part of the premium course where you can get access to the recordings, which I've shown you. And if you want to prepare it by yourself, well, good to go. Follow this plan. Make sure you stay on track because I've seen in skill level students, they very easily fall out of track. And that is quite worrisome also because it's in the skill level that you have to develop that consistency so that in professional level you can be a pro. But in skill level only, if you tend to procrastinate, then how would you learn the higher skills? So it's better that in the skill level only you learn the professionalism. So stay consistent, be on track, always follow what is told to you. And that's how you can ensure that in the first paper of my ACCA, I don't actually flunk and I increase my confidence and actually pass the paper. Right? So I hope we all are clear on this. Now you guys can ask your doubts and anything that you want to ask related to financial reporting or the classes. So anything that you want to ask, please go ahead. If you're clear, then also let me know. All clear? Good so far. All clear. Can we use ACCA Study Hub? Yes, you can use ACCA Study Hub, but to be very honest, there are some glitches in FR MCQs in ACCA Study Hub. Uh, so that's why I don't recommend. So why don't you go for Kaplan as of now? Like we are using that in the course as well. So in addition to Kaplan, you can use it, but it might confuse you a little. Okay. Yeah. Should we use BPP kit also? Yes, you can use for MCQs. Once you complete Kaplan, then start with BPP. Yes, Ibrahim, I'll share that right after the session on the group. Yeah. So I hope we all are clear on this. So are we excited to start our learning and are we excited to give our first paper in ACCA? So do let me know that yes, excited, awesome. From A part to C part. Yes, you have to move in the direction. You have to first solve MCQs. Always solve MCQs first and then the section C. Good. So great to have you all on board in FR batch. And sorry if I've missed on any doubts. I think I missed Rohan's doubt. Do you recommend giving FR and AA together? Yes, Rohan, I highly recommend that. Awesome. Is there any changes in these year for Kaplan? I'll be making a comprehensive video on the changes. However, there are no major changes, so no need to worry. Whatever is changed, we will discuss that. There is like small changes, so no need to refer to new source for that. So it's not a major change. Don't worry on that. So whatever is the change, we will discuss minute changes. And yeah, how to plan AA and FR together for September 24. Dhruti, I would say that, cover FR first ASAP and then start with AA, because or theory of AA you can already start, but if you don't know IFRSs, you might find difficulty in AA audit risk. I've also taught AA in like few years ago, so I have a little bit idea that yes, AA is also linked to FR. So first complete FR, like get halfway through the syllabus of FR and then start the full-fledged preparation of AA. And do you think September FR exam is difficult as passing? No, no, December one is difficult. September one is okay. Minimum time needed to spend study FR daily. 2 hours. 2 hours daily. That's it. Quality hours. Yeah. So that's it, guys. I hope it was a helpful session. See you all in the live session on the date that I've told you. I will just share this plan again on the WhatsApp groups. So all the best, guys. May God bless you all. Let's start with this quarter with full zeal and blessings of our family, of our God. And I think we are starting it on an auspicious day. So all the very best. God bless you all. May you all pass with flying colors this attempt, very first go. Keep the zeal up. It's a marathon. I always say it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Don't lose out your patience in the middle. Don't procrastinate. Do not fall out of the track. I know you're doing it like professional course for the first time, maybe, but it's very, very, very easy to fall out of the track. You have to avoid that. Okay, whenever you feel like you're falling out of the track, call me. Okay, 911, you need to call me that, ma'am, I'm procrastinating, it's been 4 days, I've not studied. I will put you in place. Okay, so we really need to be every time consistent. Even if, keep a weekly target. I'm not saying daily, weekly target. If I was inconsistent on Monday, I'll cover it up in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I have to meet my weekly target. That is my goal. So even if I fall out of track for Wednesday, I know I'm getting back on Saturday and Sunday. So this is what you have to keep as a professional with you. Okay. So that's it, guys. See you all in the session. All the best. I hope it was a helpful session. Thanks for joining in. Bye bye. Good night.